Hi, this is Reagan from Bleeple. I have Brian Mast here. He's candidate for U.S. Congress, District 18. And first of all, sir, I want to thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you for speaking to me.
And I want to ask you about your work for veterans. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Certainly. Well, I try to make it the point that whatever it is that I'm showing support for, whatever cause it is that I really believe in, I try to make it to a point to show it with the work of my own hands. I've always found that that makes a lot bigger difference than, say, putting up a post on Facebook or writing 100 characters or less on Twitter. So for me personally, when I'm trying to show my support for veterans, it's been through things like one of which I actually have going on this weekend, is going on Honor Flight. That's kind of an easy way for me to show my support for our World War II era veterans. Or perhaps it's working with the Stand Downs, which work to help get our homeless veterans off the street. And that's something that I've been working with for a pretty long time. And one of the other ones that I like to work with a lot is the Traveling Vietnam Memorial Wall. Whenever that comes to town, I like to have the opportunity to go out there and act as a guard for the Vietnam Memorial Wall, and just really to make it known that this is a group of my peers that I couldn't have more pride in. So that's certainly some of the more obvious ways that I try to show my support for veterans. But I'm very hopeful that as a candidate for Congress, that when I make it to the United States House of Representatives, that I can be on the House Veterans Committee. That would be one of my goals first off, and really that I can just have the opportunity to affect some change with what's going on with the Department of Veterans Affairs, which maybe you have questions on that, but I can certainly speak to the Department of Veterans Affairs for probably as long as you wanted to speak to me.
Very good. I'd like to ask you about the Iran deal and veterans against the deal, and I find this fascinating. You could tell us a little more about that as well.
Absolutely. So the Iran deal, or the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, is something that I'm on record as being opposed for. And the reason for that is very specific. I think unfortunately it's become very cliche for people out there, the media, whoever, to say Iran is the largest state sponsor of terror. And that certainly means something, but I think a lot of people don't know exactly what that means, what that literally looks like. And what it looks like for Iran to be the largest state sponsor of terror is to say that, it was the hands of individuals in Iran that were literally out there packing nails and screws and nuts and bolts and pieces of shrapnel into explosive devices that were buried in the ground in Iraq and Afghanistan to put as many holes into my fellow service members as they possibly could, so that we couldn't plug each one of them before they hemorrhaged out on the battlefield. That's what it looks like to be the largest state sponsor of terror. Or what it looks like is that Iran was complicit in developing explosively formed projectiles, which were again placed onto our battlefields of Iraq and Afghanistan, specifically to penetrate our up-armored vehicles. And what that looks like is those vehicles being absolutely destroyed, and friends of mine waking up in Walter Reed missing two legs and an arm, 2 legs and 2 arms, being very badly burned, being blind, being a combination of all of the above. I can tell you that I have friends that were hit by these devices that literally came from Iran, that were so badly burned that they'll never be recognized again by those who knew them before. And that's what it looks like to be the largest state sponsor of terror, really since the bombing of the barracks, the Marine barracks in Beirut, right up until today.
But how do we learn more about your campaign?
So to learn more about my campaign, it's very easy. It's mastforcongress.com. So you can simply go to that. Again, my name is Brian Mast. I'm a candidate for Congress in Florida's Congressional District 18. People can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/BrianMastFL. Those are 2 easy ways to do it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Brian Mast.
Thank you, ma'am.